everyone, welcome to another ADJ Elevate Live. We're going to be talking with Susy Shikoda, who is a wonderful human being. We met back in August this year at the All About Love Festival. And yeah, so to keep up the contact. So now I've invited her to talk about herself, her healing, her business. And we're going to be talking about healing your mind and emotions through the brain. A topic that's really dear to my heart. And yeah, this is the first live I've done for a number of weeks because of my move to Peru, now in Lima. And Susy, I believe you're in Spain. Is that right?
God. So hi to everyone. Alex, thank you so much for the invitations to bring the opportunity to I share what I was learning, because I think what we do is a forever learning, and we just really absorbed when we can share with others. And wow, so nice to meet you, and all about love, the festival. And I believe this is not by coincidence, for some reason now I'm here. So thank you very much.
100%. It's definitely not a coincidence. There's synchronicities, there's patterns, there's reasons why we meet certain people, and the lessons we learn from them. And we talk about that. And if anyone watching this wants to comment and ask Susy or myself a question, just write a comment below. Susy, I'll give you the first question. And that is, you have an incredible journey. You have a really powerful story. So I'd like to touch upon that first of all. What did you learn and what happened after you overcame your battle of cancer that led you to where you are today, now helping other people heal through your own healing?
Yeah, Alex, for me, was a big journey. And I always say in my seminars, when I talk about the cancer, that was the best thing was happening in my life that time, because brought to me the opportunity to know myself. And how do I found out about the cancer? Was a very interesting too, because I found it through the dream. So when you connect with your body, it's a very important, because our body is sending message all the time. And it's by intuition, is it by physical things or some pain or some discomfort. But we don't pay attention to this, because our life is so crazy day by day that we cannot understand the signals, the signs. Yeah. So I had a dream. I woke up in the morning. Was August 2009. And I realized I had a little lump in 2 fingers down my clavicle bone. 3 months after, I was diagnosed with the breast cancer level 3. Means the level 4 is the metastasis. So I was so naive. I didn't know what was carcinoma mean. I didn't know what the cancer meaning. So yeah, it was a very, very hard. But I was embraced my pain. I was jumping on the hole. I didn't want to talk to anybody. Many people around me, like my mother's family, because that time I went to Brazil. I was living in Croatia that time. And I didn't want to pray. I didn't want anything. I was bitter until I realized that was some lesson for me. So doing so many things, but I think, Alex, first thing I was treat my body. I think later on we're going to get more in the subject. I was treating my body, because through there I will have the power to get through my mind. And then I start to use my intuition. During the chemotherapy, that was 8 months on the chemotherapy, I was visualizing the chemotherapy get inside my vein and boosting my white cells, my red cells, my platelets, and make me feel much more stronger. And by the time I cut my hair, I had always like long hair, so I cut very short, because I said, okay, I will lose my hair, I'll be bald, I will whatever, but I want to save my life. Anyway, visualizations here, visualizations there. I realized this technique I was doing was NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. So good was I didn't lose my hair after 8 months of chemotherapy, 5 months on radiotherapy. And after 12 years, I was taking some medicine to block the hormones because the cancer was positive to estrogen. So I could not have estrogen in my body. And I didn't have any side effects. Why this? Because I learned how to use my mind. It's lying, was tramping the mind to creating some history, some movie that at the end of the story gave me this knowledge that I have now. That's why I became, what I am now. I'm an integrative therapist specialized in neuroscience and mental health. So for me, it was incredible how can we use our mind first, and by studying the brain, how we can use the brain to bring to you this connection, because is a coherence. That's one of my favorite doctors and neuroscientists is Joe Dispenza.
Oh yeah, I know.
Because we had kind of similar experience. Dispenza also had broken his spine in so many parts that the doctor said he would never will walk again. By his visualizing the spine back creating again, by 3 months he was walking again.
Wow.
So fortunately, I had was a gift. I met Joe Dispenza in 2019 in a pendulum event in Dublin. And I bought his book, of course, when he signed pictures and stuff. And then I gave my book. I said, listen, with me help the same. I had experience. By visualizing my house, my cells completely recovered, I didn't lose my hair. I didn't have any side effect. And Dispenza, I remember he was taking my book and then he was looking at me and then he said, let's talk more. And after I had a chance to speak more about it in some dinner with the Joe Dispenza. And for me, it was like incredible. How is the coherence we creating by our mind to our heart? Is what you think is how you feel. And we have many examples. The actor, he did the Mask. What's his name again?
Jim Carrey, is that one?
Jim Carrey. Oh my God, Jim Carrey. He was carrying a paycheck like a $4,000 million or something like that, during 2 years, and he was driving his sugar car, thinking he was in the big sports and very expensive car. So by the time he got this $4,000 million or whatever he got,
$10 million. It
was a $10 million.
Yeah, for he wanted to make by a certain date, and he did that. Yeah,
exactly. So Dispenza, he was talking about this in his books also, and of course, I was intrigued why I didn't lose my hair, why I didn't have any side effect on the chemo, on the post-treatment medicines. And then I started to study. And I became a master in NLP with Dr. Richard Bandler, who was the guy who's created the NLP methodology. And I start to go deeper and deeper. And it's like this, Alex. When we learning, it's something addictive. They said love, sex, and learning, a part of sugar, salt, and the things that's not good for the body, is addictive. And then we're going down, down, down. And then I cannot stop studying anymore.
Exactly, yeah. It's an addictive process. Like learning is addictive. We want to create more love in the world. Of course, you spoke about the external substances. And something else you mentioned, which I think is very powerful, is like you embrace the pain. So many people want to run away from their pain, but the fact that you embraced it and took on a different approach that you were visualizing. So you were probably doing it without realizing all of this stuff. You know, this was a time before books like The Secret came out, and I think before Joe Dispenza was quite popular. And I kind of want to touch upon that more, this like link between, you know, our feelings and emotions, the heart, and we can call it our intuition, the gut, and, you know, the brain, our mind. You know, why is it important to have that kind of inner coherence in carving out your path and creating your own healing? Because a lot of medical professionals will just treat the body. They won't look at the mind. Not everyone, you know. But what do you think of that? Like, why is it important to have that coherence, Susy?
Back in what you said about embrace the pain. Those days, it's very common that people trying to have this toxic, positive toxic.
Yeah, and the toxic positivity, I hate that, yeah.
Because they think that every day you need to wake up and smiling and you have to be happy, and they even don't know it's not to be happy, you know, you have to feel happy. It's not a statement. Sometimes you want to wake up in the morning, you don't want to talk to anybody. It's fine. So this is important that you bring to your subconscious mind now, bringing the part of how is important we creating this connection between brain, mind, and the coherence with the heart. Because our subconscious was our mind, let's say that. Our mind was created to protection. They need to protect us. So they don't know exactly, because there's so many informations we're sending every day. There's so many informations we're watching on the TV, on the news, that is subliminal. Yeah, can I say that in English?
Subliminal, yeah, subliminal.
Subliminal message was sending to us every day that confusing our subconscious mind. So it's how do you touch your subconscious with the nutritive, with the health information. Because when you touch there, you created the scenery, the life you need, you want, you desire. So when you send it to your subconscious mind that you're living in abundance, in prosperity, in a house, in the life that exists dualities, exist good and bad, light and darkness, because one without each other doesn't make sense. So when you start to send this message in a clear statement to your subconscious mind, you make your heart, that is how you feel. So Richard Bandler, he was always his words is like this: changing the way you think, you change the way you feel. Therefore, anything you can do in your life. It's kind of you sending message to your body that you're happy, that you're feeling well, and then your body acting like you're in abundance. So instead of you attracting just the bad, you will attract the good. But when the bad's coming, you will find a way to you live with that, with learning with that. This is very interesting. That is interesting that sometimes people doesn't want to see, because they sick and they immediately want to take one medicine to in 2 minutes they recover, right? But we are like this. You have
shortcuts, as you said, yeah.
We have some bad situations, and then you want to get rid of, you want to solve, and then to be happy again in this la la land that doesn't exist.
Yeah, I love what you say. Like it's la la land that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It's like, again, it's what someone else who I spoke with a few years ago, Jamie Smart. He spoke about the la la land myth. You know, I'll be happy when, or I'll be happy when I'm healed. I'll be happy when I make this money. I'll be happy when I get married. I'll be happy when it doesn't exist. Happiness is in the present moment. And there's so many people that emphasize, oh, you have to be happy. I love what you said about toxic positivity. I say the same thing in my 2 books that are coming out about the complaints list. I say, so many people say, just do a gratitude list every day. Be grateful. Well, you know what? I wake up some days I don't want to be grateful. I write down my complaints. I'll say, I'm angry at this person. I'm pissed off at this. Like, this person cut me off or something like that. I get out all of the anger and express the anger and the fear and the frustration. And only after I acknowledge that, I may be able to raise my level of consciousness to a bit of gratitude. But if you get hit by a car or a bus or someone punches you in the face or you get cancer, and you say, oh yeah, I'm just going to be grateful. It's like, no, you've just been punched in the face. You've been hit by a ar. What's it? You're going to be grateful for that? Nah. This is not realistic, And something else that I want to share. Actually, I'm going to share. Let me just see if I can share the screen, because I want to share something about your book. Let me just see if I can present that now.
This was my first baby.
Yeah. So let's just see here if this will come up for everyone to see. So I hope everyone can see that. Yeah, it's your book over here. Be Your Own Miracle. So yeah, I just really, I think it's fantastic. In Portuguese and English, people can get it, but and it says a bit of information about yourself there. How you can be your own miracle and all of the work you've done. So if anyone is interested in hearing more about your journey with cancer, then you can find it on Amazon.
And this book, the book, Alex, was very simple, was with the simple thing I was learned. And one of them was, as you said, about the emotions, how we have to put these emotions out. Because the emotions in our body works like a poison. And I'm telling about not just the negative emotions, but also the excessive positive emotions, who also create an excess of hormones in our body, in our neurotransmitters. For example, I don't know if you heard about when we love. When you love, you have a period that 1 year you're reacting in your body like you have some dementia.
Yeah, I've heard something similar before.
Yeah, so it's true.
You're like madly, that's why I say you're madly in love,
Yes, you feel like, you cannot work, you cannot do, you cannot pay attention, then your work, you cannot study. So this is excessive emotions that dripping inside our body. Of course, the positive emotions, the happiness, this is exceed. No, it's not will cause any sickness apart of your delusions, apart of your feeling a little bit lazy. But in the other side of the negative emotions, they can create, for example, gastric problems. Yeah, some people has this, how do we call this, gastritis?
Something like irritable IBS.
Yeah. So it's the excessive acid in your stomach caused by the stress, by when you're angry, can cause many other problems. For example, cancer. I completely believe that anger, when you don't forgive, when you don't know to forgive, this is dripping in our system and accelerate it or make the cancer cells not die, because we have a cancer cells every day in our blood system. The thing is our immune system kill them. But when they don't kill, they start to growing in the way that they creating the tumors that they start to,
the tumors will grow.
So it's basically is about the cells. How can you remove this? As you said, you're writing in the morning something, right? You have your book, you have a diary, you're writing. Some people doesn't like to write, can go, I don't know, in some room, scream, take a pillow, punch a pillow.
Yeah, that's what I do. Is like I walk in the forest, and like before I do my seated meditation, I will shake my body. I shake, dance, scream at the top of my lungs at the end of a song, for 30 seconds to move that energy from the mind, like into the body, release the anger, and then I can sit down and meditate for 10 minutes in silence.
Exactly. Some people like to run. Some people like to do exercise.
Lift weights, do boxing. Yeah.
Of course, it's important you find what suits you better. It's how the way you're going to put your emotions out. This is important. So emotions, feelings, it's very important for us as a human being express ourselves. And for me, Alex, took a long time because I'm a mother. My daughter is 17 now, almost 18. And some people born to be mother. I was born to be mother. I love to be mother. And I'm taking care about her. I'm taking care about my friends. And I'm always on the mothering, yeah. And sometimes I forgot myself. I was forgetting myself. I was giving, and not receiving. Like the first piece of the cake I give to somebody, and then I will give it to anybody until the time then there's no cake for me.
That's a shame. We all love cake. So,
exactly. This is the mother. And I was cooking, I'm baking the cake, and I didn't get anything to me. So it's crucial that we have what they say on the airplane, for example. If any problem, first mask you put in yourself, and after you will help others. How can we give what we don't have? Right? So we need to have a life. We need to have a feeling better, for we can helping other people. So and another way we're talking about emotions. In Portuguese, we say something a little bit funny. Don't come back to your house with a frog in your throat. Meaning, you need to express yourself. You need to say what you think. And you can learn how to say no. And for me, it's still a lesson. I don't know how to say no, being a mother. We need to learn in a love way to say people, no, I'm sorry, I can't. No thanks. And you don't need either explain. And because I was doing this, I would say no, I cannot. I'm sorry because. No.
Yeah.
It's no because. You cannot. You don't want. It's enough. So I'm learning. I'm learning with myself every day.
Beautiful to see. Beautiful. You're learning as a mother. You're learning as an internal student. And I was speaking about this a few weeks ago with Dorothy. The importance of saying no. No is a full sentence, and we have to take self-care. Have your cake, eat it too, and then give to others. When your cup is filled up, you've had some cake for yourself, you can give to other people.
Yeah.
It's self-care. And self-care isn't selfish. I love self-care so much that my third book in 2025 is called 7-Figure Self-Care, which means treating yourself like the most blessed, beautiful, and prosperous being in the universe, because that's exactly what you are. So that's why it's so important, and not in a way that you're narcissistic or looking at it like I'm the best person. No, it's not about that. It's about nourishing yourself. And what you were saying with the NLP and the energy that we give to life, I say every single day my value statement, which is I'm committed to abundance, freedom, honesty, joy, prosperity, serenity, and the truth, one moment at a time, every moment of every day. I imbue that statement with energy. I don't say I'm committed, blah, blah, blah. No, I don't say it like that. I imbue it with energy. That doesn't mean I have to be positive and joyful and happy and prosperous and abundant all the time, but I'm committed to that. Which is fantastic.
You have a meaning about this. When you repeat, it was not just out of the mouth. You have to have a feeling. When you feel what you're saying, it's the coherence on the brain, in the heart, And I just want to back something that you said about being grateful. Yeah. Okay. If you're hit by a car, of course, you're going to say, oh, thank you, I was hit by the car. No. But, scientifically was proven, then gratitude change a certain part here in our brain. But why is grateful for? Because being hit by the car have some meaning. Why was that? It's some message. I think in anything happened with us, it's some message behind. Important, we just open the eyes, the heart, and let the information's coming. Okay, I need to learn something about this. Or crossing the street and look to the both sides.
Yeah.
Don't trust any good looking you see in the street that distracts.
I mean, that's it. The lesson will get repeated until it's learned. And there's a lesson that keeps coming up in my life about certain people who are coming into my life.
Yes.
I'm not going to go into detail on that, but I've had certain. Sorry, 1 second.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that.
Yeah, frog in my throat. It must have been what you said earlier about going home with a frog in your throat or something like that. So yeah, I mean, it's about, like, for me anyway, certain people have been coming into my life from the age of 16, 17 until fairly recently, and led to quite bad situations that I myself instigate. That lesson will keep getting repeated until I've learned and changed my behavior and my actions, because I am the circumstances of my life. I take full responsibility for everything happening to me. So if you get hit by a car once, maybe you've learned your lesson and you learn to look left or right, or whatever the lesson may be. But if you keep getting hit by cars, like a car every year or something like that, then there may be something that keeps getting repeated.
It's the what you said about attracting people into our lives. You know, it's like I think around we have between 3,000 to 6,000 thoughts every day. 85% of these thoughts are negative. And 95% of our thoughts is repeating from the previous day. Meaning, everything we think, we attracting. So, as to say a question, this is a very old question, but works a lot in example. Do you believe that inside a seed is a tree?
That's a good question. Inside the seed is a tree. There's the potential for a tree, but the tree I don't think, is the tree there? I don't know.
Yeah, the answer is no. Inside the seed, it still doesn't have a tree. What exists is a frequency, like in our thoughts, our ideas. If you put water in the seed, if you plant in a health soil, if they have nutrients, if they have a wind, if they have a sun, they will grow in a tree. But just the seed doesn't have anything. They have a potential to be a seed, but it's the frequency you will activate and attract that will make this seed a big tree. So what I'm saying is, if people, we are attracting people to our lives by the energy we have inside, through our thoughts. But this doesn't mean that you are attracting in some moment to your life some person that is not resonate with your life or with your being, that this person needs to keep in your life. So because we have the freedom, right, to decide, but the good is we be aware that that person is toxic, or that person doesn't gonna doesn't gonna
serve
walk
you.
the way, the path of the life that I'm living now. But it's very important that it's also, because it doesn't exist right or wrong, right? But if you're attracting some person that is not high frequency, that's you, again, what she can teach you, what you can learn with her. but doesn't mean you need to keep them. Say, learn, or mother, try to help all the time, but help is not something that you give. Yeah, you need to be asked for. But we're always trying. We always want the best for people, special people who surround us, our loved ones. But it's good we have this conscience that we have this freedom to say, listen, no, I don't want this type of people in my life. I don't want to live the life in that way, or in a friendship, in a partnership, in a whatever relationship you have.
Yeah, you have a choice. It's about taking responsibility. You can choose who you associate with, who you want to help, and ask yourself, how am I serving this person? How are they serving me? Doesn't mean you have to cut out everyone from your life, but if you find that a person or a situation isn't giving to you, your soul, your spirit, your mind, your emotions, as much as you're giving from that, if they're taking more than they're giving, you can reevaluate that. And I've done that with relationships.
Yeah. It's true. And sometimes we don't need to even cut this person from our life. They living naturally in other people's coming and other people's leaving. Some people stay, and the people who stay is not by coincidence. It's because it's something that then you guys have to create together.
Yeah, that's right. It's the impermanence of life. Everything's impermanent, whatever it may be. We're here for a limited time. And what I want to touch upon now is actually, well, again, one of four things. And before I do that, if anyone has a question for me and Susie, I see there's a number of people watching it, just write a comment and you can ask. But Susie, I'm going to ask you, because there's 4 different articles you wrote on your blog. I'm not sure if we're going to have time to get to all of them, but there's one. Yeah, I know. I haven't.
I told you 1 hour would be so fast.
Yeah, we see. There's Heal Your Mind, Heal Your Life. Great article. Breaking Limiting Beliefs. What is meditating, and how to control your fear. Just wondering, which one do you think we should touch upon first, Susie?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the fear. I
Okay,
like
how to control your fear. So I'm just going to share that one on the screen, and then we can just see what it says. Then I'm going to touch upon Cynthia's comment that she wrote over here. Let's just do the fear one. How to control your fear. It should be up on the screen. Yeah, there we go. It's up on the screen now. Love the photo there. Have you ever missed an opportunity because your mind's been dominated by fear? You know how it's very common. First of all, calm your circuits. This is what you say over here. What does that mean exactly? I'm just going to stop sharing for a moment while you explain. What does it mean to calm your circuits exactly?
Okay. First of all, fear happens when we don't know what's going on. This is also the anxiety. Yeah? Fear is one of the main symptoms of the anxiety, fear. So when you don't know something, you scare about, and then you start to fear. Count the circuits, it's meaning simple by that. Simple like that. Oh, my English is breathing.
Yeah, breathing.
You need to breathe. As I said, in any situation of challenging, you need to count to 1 to 10. Have you heard about this?
Yeah.
If you're fighting with somebody, you feel angry, you're going to say, listen, count 1 to 10, and then you feel better. Why? Because you give oxygen to your brain. And then you can think better. You can find the way answer or reaction for the acting. So count the circuits is literally come down to your mind. So you understand what is this, what causing the fear.
Yeah, that's right. Because like when we're reacting from a place of fear, the mind is in like overdrive, going like this and this and this. And I have to do this and this. And I'm a person who speaks quite fast and naturally. A lot of people, even native English speakers, but non-native English speakers, are like, Alex.
I can understand you very well.
Well, thank you. Some people not. That's fine. But like, if I'm in the fear response, like fight or flight or freeze, then I'm going to start speaking even faster. And then someone will be like, Alex, just slow down.
Breathe, breathe, breathe.
Yeah, don't forget to breathe. You can turn blue. And
And
breath is so important. I've done a lot of breath work. I'm going to
it's
touch.
amazing how you can active levels of consciousness through the breathing, the breath.
Yeah, and I'd love to talk about that, about some of the breath work I've done, and maybe we can touch upon the plant medicines, because it's been a very similar experience. First, Cynthia wrote here, it is true what she said, what you say, Susie. We attract according to our negative or positive thoughts. And I think Earl Nightingale was one of the first people to articulate this. Earl Nightingale was a radio broadcaster from the 50s or so. And he has a famous broadcast, and it was one of the first ever audio books that was successful and CD, sold over 1 million tapes or whatever it was at the time. And he says, we become what we think about. It's true. So you think negative stuff is going to happen. You think positive stuff is going to happen. Anything you have to say on that yourself?
Oh, and then I can give you one little tip. Okay. When we changing or reprogramming our mind in the way to attract what we want, basically is, how can I say? It's like convincing your subconscious mind, right? And then sending this frequency to attract. Guys, 15 minutes before sleep. Now we're talking more on the science level. When our brain levels the waves, it's more slow. It's the theta wave. This is the moment that you can put anything in your brain, in your subconscious mind, and will come to you. For example, when you're watching some movie before sleep, normally everybody was watching some movie before. I love to fall asleep watching something. And what's happened? You dream about it. So why not 15 minutes before? Because it's when exactly you have this, and then you fall asleep. This is the moment then you will be in theta. And 15 minutes after you wake up, until 15 minutes after, yeah? So you feel a little bit dizzy when you wake up. This is the time your brain is in the theta wave. So people used to pray, people used to meditate. Put whatever you want is the time, but need to be in the present time. Need to be like you receiving already. Again, you're giving the informations to your mind, and you feel, and then you start to feel again. This is magic, and trust me, you will attract. You will attract what you want.
Yeah, 100%. I've done that for over a decade. Like before exams, I had before my sociology exams at university or accountancy exams, I would listen to myself repeating my lecture notes. And I'll go to sleep with that before presentations, whether it's a keynote speech or a workshop. I would listen to that, and then I would internalize it whilst I sleep. When I was learning languages, and I'm going to do this when I start learning more and more Spanish, listening to Spanish audiobooks. And I listen to audiobooks by Barry Long or Dr. David R. Hawkins or Reality Transurfing. I do that as I go to sleep sometimes. It's wonderful.
It's beautiful because the subconscious mind you don't need to listen something too loud, because they listen to you. They listen in very, very not high volume. So for example, when it's something to be careful. If you get some YouTube meditations before sleep, my suggestion is to you to listen awake before you sleep, because some people doing some anchors inside of the meditations, some techniques that we use on the NLP, and to trigger this to something else. Then he making some meditation, and then he repeating very, very slow, very soft, gentle his name. And then this goes to your subconscious mind too. And then when you wake up in the morning, you're obsessed for the people. You want to buy everything. You want to watch everything. This is kind of manipulation that we call, in the neuro-linguistic programming that we normally do. We make, but we do to the person benefit, not doing to behind or in a subliminal way. So this is what I would like to say. But it's beautiful how
Yeah,
you attract.
100%. It is how we attract things. We can do it in our sleep because our mind, our subconscious, is still running while we sleep. And another thing we spoke about earlier was about the breath. And before we started that, we also spoke a bit about psychedelics. We both. I believe you've also tried ayahuasca as well. Yeah, is that right? So I have for the first time last year. I mean, both know Rita Herrey's. She was at the festival too. I'm not sure how much contact you have.
I love her.
Amazing. I'm going to try and interview her too. I'll reach out to her on Insta. But I want to talk about breath work first of all, because it was funny that for me anyway, I mean, I tried the San Pedro, I tried the ayahuasca. Since then, I've tried mushrooms. All wonderful. But the most psychedelic thing I've ever done was actually the breath work. Lying down for an hour, and I've done breath work a number of times, but lying down, it was like, no, it was over an hour. After the first hour, I wanted to leave, and the shaman who was doing it was just like, Alex, just stay. He was just like, hug me if you want, you can hold me, you can cry. But like, wow, there was so much stuff just like flooded from us. And what I was doing was lying on my back, breathing through the belly. But it was at times like, at times very emotional. I was crying. There was some anger. I was shaking, involuntary. It felt like I was having a full body orgasm at one point. The different colors I was seeing as my eyes closed. All this stuff. So, I mean, what would you say to breath work? And then we can touch upon maybe ayahuasca and other psychedelic.
Listen, I tried both, and I'm telling about the breath work because I did some sessions, and I completely agree with you. People sometimes don't believe in themselves. They don't believe the body could react by you can work in yourself and create this kind of experience. And they prefer use the psychedelics. They prefer take something to think that will create some experience. And I'm telling this because my post-graduation in neuroscience, my thesis was about how the ayahuasca could improve or be used as a tool on the mental health. So one research was made with 40 people, was in America, 40 people who had a severe depression that the medicines, the traditional medicines, not helping anymore, right? So even the patients and the doctors, they didn't know they was using placebo. So 20 people took a dose of ayahuasca and the other 20 had the placebo. So what ayahuasca helped? They helped you dealing with your emotions, doesn't help you on the mindfulness, attention, but help how to you recover feelings from the past, emotions that you can work again. So almost 100% of the first group has decreased the depression. Done. 50% from the second group that had a placebo, they also was better from the severe depression. So the interesting thing is either the ayahuasca or either the breath work will help you, but it's a way to you use your body and to feel better. The medicine, the ayahuasca, I'm working from 7 years already. And in Brazil, and I think in Peru too, is legal. Because when you use for a religious thing or medicinal thing, is not problem. It's different from UK, for example, that illegal, or here in Spain. In Spain, it's not legal, it's not illegal. It depends how people using, because a lot of people try to using the medicine ayahuasca as recreational drug. So the police will start to looking for this. So some places have a license, some places have a doctors, some places have a the way to do in a traditional ceremony that is safe, right? So I would like to mention Dr. Rachel Harris. She also had proven scientific research about the ayahuasca. If you don't mind, I would like just to mention she had a podcast they call "Listen to Ayahuasca." That she,
ayahuasca,
yeah. So it's beautiful. Beautiful. I use her research in my thesis. It was amazing. Another person I would like to mention is Dr. Jorge Ribas, and he was a neuro pharmacologist in a hospital here in Barcelona, São Paulo hospital, and he was named by the Rolling Stones magazine as one of the 25 people in the world that will change the future science because the research about ayahuasca. So the medicine use with the careful, with the purpose, and in a ceremonial rituals can help a lot. And then I back to the gut. I'm back to the neuroscience part that ayahuasca increase the serotonin in the brain. That's why they give you this feeling of happiness and then open gates of the mind and the emotions. But in the other way, if you taking care about your gut, because our gut was basically the first brain. 95% of the serotonin is produced in the gut.
And also they found that there is a number of neurological cells, not as much in the brain, but also in the gut and heart. And also, it's no wonder that I had depression for over 10 years. My diet consisted of takeaway foods, instant coffee, sweets, sugary snacks, energy drink, all this stuff. No wonder I was so depressed. Now I've cleaned up my diet. Right now, doing a bit of a smoothie diet. I felt so energetic. People say like your skin looks clearer. I've lost a bit of weight. I've not had depression since I started the smoothie diet. And when I'm in Dorset in the spiritual community, I'm having vegetarian food 95% of the time. Yeah, I mean, no wonder.
Exactly. This is the important. You see, we talk about breath working. We talk about the medicine ayahuasca. We came to the gut. The gut, if you're taking care about your gut, if you avoid the inflammation, you can also be healed by the depression. That's why, Alex, I decided to study the mind, but also study the brain, because my clients, when they come to me, it's 4 or 5 hours appointment, because I need to understand what the individual are. I need to understand the habits. I need to understand what he's eat. And then, because they said, they come to me, I have depression, I have anxiety. Okay, let's check your physical first. What you eat? You sleeping good? You making exercises? No. I eat a lot of gluten. I eat a lot of sugar. I eat a lot of lactose. Guess how your gut will be?
Yeah, exactly.
So after that, we can go for the emotions, because also is the emotion intelligence. When you have your system bad, how can you thinking better? How can you think? It's difficult.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
you need, because sometimes you cannot process your emotions better, because you don't have a such neurotransmitters. You don't have some hormones in your body, and then that's why I like to put all this together. Is the brain, is the mind, is the science and the spirituality. As Greg Brandon, mention, because I was in a conference with him 2 weeks ago, and put beautifully how the science has to be with the spirituality. He's a scientist. He's a bestseller author in New York Times. He'd have a credibility, authority to talking about. And also Bruce Lipton. I love Bruce Lipton. I was with him 3 years ago, and I was again with him in California in January. And he's the father of the epigenetic. And for him, the genetic epi is coming up. People say, oh, you have in your DNA, you have something, positivity for cancer. My test, when I did the breast test, the cancer, I did the same Angelina Jolie tests, see the DNA, and they said, oh, you have an 87% chance to have a breast cancer in your life. Angelina Jolie, what she did, she removed the breast because she believed that in her DNA has some percent of chance to have a cancer. And I'm completely, no. Bruce Lipton said the same. Say, how can you believe? Is again, we come to what we believe is what we feel. If you believe your DNA has a 90% chance of you have a cancer, you will have a cancer with a 1% of the chance. So we need really be careful for what we believe, what we think.
Yeah, what comes in, what comes in, what we believe, what we think will occur.
It's true. And people doesn't believe in spirituality. And Bruce Lipton was the first doctor, because he's biologist, saying spirit in a room with the 500 people. Before, when we're talking about the spirituality, people, oh my God, no, this is not a spiritual. They start to call energy. And people buy. He buy the same for energy instead of spirituality.
Yeah, so, sure. Yeah, and here's the thing: I don't think people you don't have to be spiritual, believe this or that. Be someone who's who believes in pro science and only looks at double-blind test results.
Exactly.
Or something like that. At the end of the day, it's what works or what doesn't work. And if you're open-minded, you can hear. And people may be put off by words like spirit or energy or God or whatever, and that's fine. When I speak to people, I speak to them on the level where they're at.
And they believe in something above, some energy or some spiritual that coordinate our body. So coming from Bruce Lipton, and I love mention him, and
it's cool.
I'm going to talk about this because it's true.
Bruce Lipton, I'll maybe put a link in the comments. People that already put the one listening to ask, let me just put the Bruce Lipton one in there if I can find it. And whilst I'm looking that up, I also just want to mention, in terms of something that I was just saying now, in terms of how I'm speaking with people, clients, prospects, and stuff like that. No, I won't mention something like spirituality as such, or energy, or all this kind of stuff. I'm just focused on what's going to help them in the moment. They're suffering from burnout. They're working 70 hours a week. It's about helping them buy back time for them and their families. So we talk about what works. Same thing with it's a sales challenge. I've spoken with a lot of people recently about the challenges they and their businesses are having to make money because their account executives are burning out and stressed out. So we want to get them to a place where they can sell better. I'm not going to go in there talking about God and this and that. I'm just going to focus on the problem and give them the solution. And stuff may come from spirit or higher power, but we get to that later if necessary, if it will help them and serve them. Here's the Bruce Lipton website that you were talking about now.
He's amazing and so humble person. He's come to you inside the seminar. He's shaking everybody's hand.
Oh,
you can look in the eyes like he know you from before. And I was on the second line of the audience, and then he came to me. Hi. I said, yeah, hi. And then suddenly he came to my side and said, apologize. I didn't say it properly. He held my hand and he said, good, how you feel today? Sorry to have to just wave to you. And he came to talk to me. I was like, I was in love of Bruce Lipton because you see, some people who most famous they start to be arrogant. The ego. And then we talk about ego. So no, zero ego. And then he told me something that was in my heart. For me, it's for 500 people in the audience, of course.
Awesome.
Says that the cure is in back to the tribes. The cure is on the medicines. Because if you pay attention now, everybody wants to natural things. They want a health thing. It's what our grandmother was giving to us when we was child. Is the tea, is the herbs, is no processed food. I first time I ate pizza, I had, I think, 10 years old. Until that, I didn't know what was this kind of processed food or crazy foods, you know? So back to the nature.
Yeah, well, you're speaking with someone who's sadly his mum can't cook and gave me processed foods like microwave chips, pizzas. Even though I was lactose intolerant, pizza, cheese strings, and this kind of stuff every day as a child until I learned how to cook. So no wonder like all of the things happened to me, and the physical illnesses, the mental illnesses, because of what was happening in my gut. So we only have about 2 minutes left, Susie. So there's yeah, I know it's.
I love it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Love it.
I was going to finish with the final comment, final comment that Cynthia wrote over here, and then I'm going to turn it over to you for any final thoughts. So she says, like when a kettle boils and we feel that pressure, that is maximum. The same thing happens with fear. The panic attack oppresses you, it blocks you. Here we must automatically apply the breathing technique. So maybe you want to talk about that for 60 seconds and then give it over to any final words you have.
Listen, I'm not specialized in breathing. Okay. I do some techniques then I create by myself using the essential oils, for example. And I have one here, for example.
Let me just move the comment out of the way. So yeah, the essential. I bought one from you actually in August. But yeah.
Exactly. Is a key. Essential oil is amazing. So what you have to do, essential oils, because they have the frequency same or higher than our body. When we smelling, when we breathing with the oils, you have a immediately therapeutic response. So what you're going to do is breathing, for example, through one nose. This is I learned in a breath work therapy I had. But it's not like this. It's like hold for 3, breathe out for 3, hold for 3, and do this 3 times. Okay? Or you put a drop in your hand, and then you make like a mask, and you breathing through your nose, but very, very quick, like a little bit more. Hold for 3, breathe out for 3, empty your lungs for 3, breathe out again 3 times through the mouth. So, and then you will feel like your panic's going. I have another technique that I don't know we're gonna have a time now. Is about the eyes. You're moving your eyes.
Maybe not now. But what we can do is I'll put your email up on there. So info@susyshikoda.com. So if anyone's interested in
the alchemy of emotions. This is a book written by. So by you moving your eyes, you're disconstructing thoughts. So this is help a lot. And unfortunately, no more time.
Oh no! Yeah, so if they want, they can reach out to me with my meet.adjelevate.com link. Reach out to you; they can hear more about that. Maybe you'll do a blog article or a video on that. If so, I'll post it in the comments below this video. Susie, do you have any final words? Any final things you want to say or share?
I just would like to say for who's listening now, just thank you so much. My gratitude again to I can share something that I know. And you need to be connected with your body, mind, and spirit, because just the body not going to do anything. Just the thinking doesn't do anything. Just the spiritual. We need to connect with our senses, with our body, and listen to your body, okay? Because they will send message. Listen to your intuitions, because they will give to you what you need. And listen, be surround the people that you love. This is the best medicine. and connecting with people like Alex, for example. And you have this exchange of frequency that's so beautiful. Thank you so much, Alex.
Thank you, Susie, and looking forward to continuing our connection, listening to the mind and body. Everyone watching this, take care. See you next week.
Thank you.
Bye.